The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Let's go. Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. What's his name? Sir Walter Jones. Whose show is this? Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. Say it again. Sir Walter Jones. Who you with? Sir Walter Jones. One more again. Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show. Co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in where we tackle all the hot topics in a believer's walk. Monday is Men's Night. The Men's Chronicles, a woman's guide to men.
Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. What's his name? Sir Walter Jones. Whose show is this? Sir Walter Jones. Who is it? Sir Walter Jones. Say it again. Sir Walter Jones. Who you with? Sir Walter Jones. One more again. Sir Walter Jones.
Today is Monday, and that means it's the Men Chronicles, a women's guide to men. No, we are not from Mars, but we are from homes that raise us correctly and, more importantly, godly. Get to know us a little better in the Men's Chronicles, right here on the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Hello everybody, Sir Walter of the Sir Walter Jones Show. I am he. Monday. It's Monday, Men's Chronicles. It is Women's Guide to Men. But we're going to kind of sidetrack a little bit here, kind of silence that particular subject by continuing on with our Legends series. Legends. What's Legends? Well, it's Black History Month, as you know. Every February it happens. We just happen to be blessed to get one extra day this year. I think it was 29 days, thanks to the leap. But yeah, we did the Earth, Wind, and Fire last week. We did Alex Haley Roots. And today is a special one for me. It is a personal legend of mine. This is the great and honorable Dorothy Brown. She is clerk, Cook County Circuit Court clerk, to be specific, for Chicago. And those of you who live, and you're my listeners from New York and California, and I have my listeners from Florida, and all over the country. I want to thank you guys, and those of you on Facebook and Twitter and Spreaker and YouTube. God bless you for listening. Many of you may not have, you don't know who she is. You never heard of Dorothy Brown, right? Those in Chicago, we all know her. We love her. But those of you who live outside of the Chicagoland area, I'm going to introduce you to Dorothy Brown. And I'm going to not so much talk about politics per se, although politics it will play a big part of what we're going to do today. I'm going to talk about inspiration more so than politics. This woman has inspired thousands. Dorothy Brown was elected as a clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County in 2000 and has been reelected to 2 additional terms in office. Apparently, Chicago love her. 3 consecutive victories by overwhelming margins illustrate voter confidence in her abilities. And as the official keeper of records for all judicial matters brought into one of the largest unified court systems in the world, Clerk Brown is responsible for managing an annual operating budget of more than, and get this, $100 million, and has a workforce of over 2,100 employees. That's Dorothy Brown. And she is a giant in our city. But we're going to talk about the humble years of Dorothy Brown as I got to be introduced to her in the early 80s. And I believe she may be on the phone now. Dorothy Brown, are you there?
I am.
Hey, how are you, sis?
I am phenomenal.
You should be tired, too, because I'm sure you had a busy weekend with the Super Bowl.
I did.
Mm-hmm. I think you had an event. I saw it on Facebook. And
yes.
Yeah, I know. I know. We want you here in the studio, but I know, gosh, it's that time of the season for you to just be, everybody's pulling on your coattail. And so we're not going to try to keep you too long. But what I want to do is go back in time, okay? Because here you are, an African-American woman in a city which was known for a lot of racial strife. It was hard enough for an African American to get into politics, to become anything, because we were dealing with what was called the machine. And then in walked the great Harold Washington, who gave all of us an inspiration. Did you meet Harold Washington? Did you ever meet him?
I did, yes.
Yeah. I remember, and I'm not gonna go too fast because I want to talk about where I was able to meet you. But in 1983, I first met you actually at the King of Glory Church of God in Christ. At the time, your pastor was the pastor Shepherd Little, and he was what we call in the Church of God in Christ a district. What was he? Superintendent, right? And it was the Goodwill District. Okay, tell the audience who are not familiar with that sort of structure of the church. What is a district superintendent?
Well, in the Church of God in Christ, a district superintendent generally has anywhere from 5 to 20 churches.
Mm-hmm.
Back in Dr. Shepherd Little's day, you had probably about 20 churches apiece. Now some of the districts are a little smaller.
That's right.
So we're organized first as a local church, and then a district group of churches, and then those districts make up a state, or they call it either a jurisdiction or a state. So then if you have, let's say, 18 to 20 churches per district, and you have 5 to 6 districts in a state, then that state or jurisdiction would have 120 churches as a part of their jurisdiction.
Right.
And back in the day too, there might have been just one jurisdiction in a state.
That's right.
That's why they call them state jurisdictions.
Right.
But now you have several jurisdictions within a state, and most of the time now they require about 30 or more churches for you to have a district,
yeah,
which then reports directly to the national church.
Right.
Which, so you have the local church, the district churches, jurisdiction, and then the national church.
That's right. And it's huge. And the Church of God in Christ, we about 6 million strong. So Shepherd Little had an amazing, huge influence over quite many pastors. And then under him was the great Bishop L.H. Ford, who was definitely loved him some Dorothy Brown. Okay. We knew that quite often because when I met you, you were over like what I think they call the Scholastic Motivation or something.
Yes, I was over the Scholastic Motivation Ministries.
Yep, and that's where I met you because you began to gather up a lot of the young people in our jurisdiction, and we had to. You presented competitions for orators.
Right. Oratorical, Bible Bowl.
That's right.
Praise dance, not praise dance. I'm sorry. Drill team.
Mm-hmm.
Spelling bee.
Right.
Math. All of those different competitions.
Oh, it was amazing. And this was around 1982, 83 when I had an opportunity to be a part of it. And you sat and you helped us prepare. And really what it did is for those of us who were in school who wasn't getting the proper instruction on how to write, that jurisdiction, first jurisdiction, through your tutelage was helping us young people. You were teaching us how to write papers. And that competition actually was a blessing to so many of them because what happens was the ones who won got this money to go to college. And many of them graduated and came back home and worked in the local churches, which is something huge. But then it was 1983 or 84. You were working for a company called, I think, Odell Hicks and Company.
Yes.
Downtown in the financial district. And I was in school, and this is before I went to school. You guys were chosen to be the accountants for this event called the Taste of Chicago. I don't know if you remember this. Okay. The Taste of Chicago, and your company Through Odell Hicks, I think at the end of each night, you guys were to tally up all of the revenue of all of the tents, and you hired a bunch of young people, and I was one of them. Okay, and you said if you guys work with me Monday through Friday, you would get $300. Now this was 1983, 84. That was some good money. You see what I'm saying? And we every day, what we did was you gave us a lot of tickets because we were able to, eat, but we went from tent to tent to tent to tent, and it was just an amazing job. And at the end of that week, sure enough, we went to the tent, and you wrote a check, $300, and I took that check and bought my first car, 1976 Chevy Chevette. I'll never forget it.
For $300.
Yep. I called it leprosy because it had a lot of spots on it. But that was my first car. And then I enrolled in Taylor Business Institute. Okay. I was studying what was called computerized accounting. And I remember, I'll never forget this. I had my suit on. I just finished my resume, and I was walking downtown with my suitcase and my briefcase, that is. And I bumped into you, and you said, "Hey, Walter, what are you doing?" I says, "Well, I'm in school right now, almost done." You said, "What are you studying?" I says, "Accounting." And you said, "Listen, you got a resume." I said, "It just so happened I just finished my resume," and I went in my briefcase and pulled it out and gave it to you. You says, "Listen, I'll give you a call maybe tomorrow or so this week because we're looking for some work down there at the office." I said, "Okay, all right." I didn't think nothing of it. You called me that very day, the next day that is, that morning. You said, "I need you to come down to meet Odell Hicks." And I was just so excited. I went down there, I met with the man, and he hired me on the spot. And it's a CPA firm, a certified public accountants, and there were several accountants there, and my job was to tally up everything on the computer. So basically, I was working in a job that I went to school for, and it's because of you were able to help me with that. Do you remember Morge Khan?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to him at any time?
Yes, Morge is working with me now.
Really?
On my re-election campaign.
Wow. You have got to hook me up with him. Morge Khan was an amazing inspiration for me as well because I worked at that job with you for about a year or two. And then there was a construction job that opened up. I don't know if you remember this, but it was called Single Construction. Single Construction. I think it was Ted Baker, I think his name was. And you got me to work there. And I worked there for several years, actually, in the accounting department. And so this is something that you do a lot. You help a lot of young people because I was newly married at the time. So I was about maybe 20, 21 at the time. Get jobs. Now, moving into your political career, you became a lawyer, didn't you?
I did.
What year was that? You remember?
I went to law school when I was 38 years old after I left Odell Hicks, and I went to become the general auditor for the Chicago Transit Authority. I then, after I stabilized that particular position for a year, I decided that I wanted to be an attorney for my next life, which I planned it to be political office. And so I went to law school, 38 years old. My daughter was a 7th grade, and I was able to finish law school in 3.5 years.
Wow, 3.5 years. Now now when you landed the position as clerk, you were a lawyer then, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I finished law school in 96.
96.
And I became and passed the bar that same year, and ran for this office and won it in the year 2000.
Wow. Do you still talk with Mr. Hicks?
I see him periodically. I actually saw him the weekend after Christmas at an event. And he still looks good. And
wow.
his wife is still looking good.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I see him periodically.
Yeah. Do he still have...
all in that accounting profession.
He still have the company?
He does still have the company.
Really? It's still in the same location?
No, it is not.
Okay. He moved on with that. And because, if I'm not mistaken, you guys were doing Mayor Harry Washington's books at one time.
We were.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because Mayor Washington wanted to have every dime reported. You only have to report anything over $150. But Mayor Washington wanted the name, address for everybody.
Wow.
It was $1.50, whatever it was, he wanted it reported.
Wow.
Which was great. He kept track of that.
Oh, absolutely. I remember going, you guys had a file room. It looked like it was a million files back there. I mean, you would send me back there and it was like a treasure chest of clientels. And I came across Harold Washington papers and I said, oh my goodness, is this the Harold Washington? And that's when I knew I was working for greatness. And I remember Odell Hicks and Company were selected with, it was like a conglomerate of other accounting firms, Deloitte & Touche, Arthur Anderson, okay, all of the great, accounting firms in Chicago. And I think they did like a citywide type thing. And I think we were the only African-American CPA firm, a part of all of them,
That was the audit of the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
They always did a consortium of firms. They had one lead firm, which was Deloitte & Touche at the time.
Right.
And then all of the different minority firms were both Hispanic and African American. We made up the consortium, and we all allocated our portion of the audit. And as a matter of fact, and I don't know if you were still there, I actually wound up becoming one of the senior managers. There were only two. I was one of the senior managers on the audit. I believe it was 89 and 90. 89, 90, 91 maybe.
No, I don't think I was still there. Wait, yeah, I was there 89, 90. I think I left around 91. And then you began to run for this office, and you were there. You were able to, because I remember you actually asked me and my brother, and we were so just delighted because we were your band, by the way. I don't know if you remember that, the Jones Boys.
Yes.
Yeah. And you ran an amazing and successful campaign. And I remember that night, all the news stations were there, and we were playing our song, and we stopped, and there they announced you as a winner. How did that feel? I mean, what possibly could have been going through your mind to be able to win such a position?
Oh, I just felt really blessed that the Lord would bring me from a little town in Louisiana where my church was just a little wooden building when I attended it, to Chicago, where I didn't know anyone other than my one sister and her boyfriend at the time was now a husband. And to be able to come and to have millions of people to wind up voting for you.
Man.
It's really a humbling experience.
Yeah, it had to be. And then that didn't just happen once. We were in a state meeting when it came time for re-election, and we were in a state meeting, and I'll never forget, it was it was Bishop Booker at the time, but his first assistant over there, what's his name? It'll come to me in a minute. But he had his cell phone in the pulpit, And the phone rang, and he answered it, and we like, why is he answering this phone in the pulpit? What's going on? And then he turned over to Bishop Booker and whispered in his ear, and Bishop Booker, he kind of stopped whatever was going on, and you were on the phone. This was during the state meeting. We were in church, and Bishop Booker says, "Did you win?" He says, "I did," and the whole church went up. It was an amazing thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were in church, and Bishop answered the phone. And the whole church started shouting. It was amazing.
I think he was looking for my call.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep. He was waiting on your call because apparently he had his assistant to be on the lookout. And the phone rang in the pulpit. We heard it ring. We were like, "How dare this man answer the phone in the pulpit?" But we didn't realize that they were waiting on your call. And your call came, and we had a party that night. It was amazing. And so I wanted to do this Legends show for those who can talk to someone or listen to someone who was reachable. All right, you're accessible. Okay, I just gave just a little portion of your bio, and it seems okay. I can never get to her. She's too big. Oh, absolutely not. You can. It's nothing to catch Dorothy Brown just walking down the street. I mean, she is very personable. And she loves the Lord. Let's talk about that part, the spirituality, because I believe you were a missionary in the Church of God in Christ, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I've been a missionary since 1978.
78, wow.
Yes.
That's a...
So it's just really been, really a pleasure being able to, preach and teach the gospel to other individuals, and also being in the public eye and being able to stand up and do things appropriately and do things in line with the Lord and that sort of thing. It really is. It really speaks to being an example to young people and other people how you should let your light shine in the world, so they'll see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Oh, absolutely. And you come from this, because Mom, and now I think you begin to mention your upbringing, and your mom and your father was there in the home, right? Or was it just your mom?
It was my mother and my father.
And your father, okay. And you had a lot of siblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many were there? Or are there?
Total of 7 siblings.
Yeah.
So there were 8 of us.
And how many of them became professionals like yourself?
Well, we all went to college.
Ain't that something?
And 7 out of 8 of us have bachelor's degrees. 6 out of 8 have master's degrees. And then 2 are attorneys.
Wow.
And 1 is a CPA and 1 has a PhD.
Wow. Goodness.
And this is from a set of poor and uneducated parents.
Right. And that's my whole point. That's the whole point of the spirit of today's show, is to let those out there who are struggling, and some of them are they may be in a situation where the parents, can't afford. My parents, we come up where I remember the years of seeing food stamps come through that house quite a few times, and going to Jewel, Osco, and these other stores, and having 2 and 3 carts, and Mama pulling out all of those stamps, and then she didn't have enough, so the person at the cashier would say, "We got a 90." That means we got to put something back. I remember those days when we struggled. But today I can say, and proudly, that my family has come out of that, and many of my brothers, many of them are ministers and elders in the church. Many of them are working in the workforce as master carpenters. They get calls, they have to refuse calls. Of course, you already know my life, quite busy. But I look at and I attribute a lot of that inspiration to people like yourself, Clerk Brown, who has inspired so many. And now, as far as the political arena is concerned, here you are in a position that the mailman come to the house and you'll see your name on a lot of our mail. Okay. I remember when I first got some mail and I had your name on it. I said, look at this. Boy, I'm so proud. My first boss, her mail come to my house and from a place that's downtown where everybody knows her name. It's a household name. But now you have moved into the technological world as clerk because you've already had some accomplishments with the electronic filing. Okay, you got the child support system as technical, and the domestic relations and probate divisions and all these things that you've accomplished. Now you have this mobile app. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so with the mobile app, there are only 3 clerks of courts in the entire country that have a mobile app.
Wow.
And my technology staff built the app from scratch.
Wow.
We contacted the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, and we met all their requirements. And and then so people can download it from onto their iPhones or their phones, whether it's Android or iPhone, their iPads. They can download it, and when you get to it, you are able to see all of the civil case types that we have in our system. You don't have to have a case number. All you have to have is the person's name, and you're able to go in and see that. And then you can locate any of our facilities, and once you get ready to drive out to our facility, that our facility's location has a GPS on it, so it actually directs you to the location. Find out how much the fees cost. Dial into our website to find out all the different services we have available there.
Yeah, I see. You have the online traffic ticket service. You have the pay or sign up for traffic safety school via internet, mortgage foreclosure surplus searches. Gosh, unclaimed child support, check search, online orders of protection services. I mean, all these are very important for a lot of listeners. 11 consecutive years of community-based adult and juvenile full-service expungement summits, establishing Cook County Clerk of Court as a national model and producing the expungement summit guide. And this is very important for those who've been put away and just need their record slate clean. Yeah, but I also see some future plans. Okay, you got a new e-case management system.
Yes.
Help us out with this.
Okay, so my plan is to put in a new state-of-the-art case management system. I have been patching the system that we have, replacing, getting the different kind of software, putting in place the electronic filing that we talked about, the images and all of that. So we've done all of that, but I feel that now it's time to replace this entire system. It's going to be able to handle criminal, traffic, domestic violence, child protection, juvenile justice, all of the different case types that are out there. The system will accommodate. We already have in-house the answers to our request for proposal that went out, and that vendor selection should be coming sometime in the next several months.
Awesome. Yeah. And then you have the e-courts, courtrooms equipped to project electronic images of case files, evidence, and exhibits to judges, attorneys, parties to a case, jurors, and witnesses. You have e-records, the official court record, all case files, documents in an electronic image format to display in the courtrooms and to the public. E-record will be the only file maintained. And these are, again, that we're in the technological age, and these things are very important. The old way of doing business is too old for a lot of us today. Then you have electronic images over the internet, and all of these things. These are your future plans, and which is going to help us get in and out of that office. Okay, if we have to go, because people are so busy, and I can imagine the workload and so many people you have to take care of. The more technological savvy that office is, the better and quicker you can service the people of Chicago in their times of need. And I do know for sure that you are definitely the best person for the job. And I'm saying this because I know your track record. I hear the testimonies of so many men and women who said, Dorothy Brown helped me do this. She helped me here. She helped me there. I talk with your staff personally. A very, very nice, just cordial, if y'all ever call the office, you can hear the cordial people there who, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, no, ma'am, no, sir, and they're full of respect, and definitely it must be attributed to your ethics and your respect and your uptraining, your training from working in the missionary field for the hearts of the people. Because, you go to a lot of these facilities in any city, and there's that person sitting on the other side of the desk, and they're so mean and ornery. And what's up with that? I mean, do you think some of these people are mean because of the public that they have to work with? Did I lose her? Are you there, Dorothy Brown?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. There are some workers they come across as being very angry. Why? What can we do to improve this customer service? And
I have been working on that. Some of them are from, my predecessor's administration. I have a union, and as a result, there are certain rules and regulations. I can't just replace those people.
Yeah.
But I have had customer service training for my staff. I reprimand and discipline individuals that I get reported to about. And so we're just, we get a lot of compliments because there are a lot of employees that treat people good. But there are some, as you said, that will come across in that manner. And it's just not tolerated by me if, in fact, I get the word about it.
Sure.
So the best thing for you to do is, especially when you deal with the system, let me know right away. They get enough complaints, then we do have progressive discipline.
Yeah, good. That's awesome. And this is needed, and the people need to hear that. Listen, we're going to let you go and get back to working for the good of this city. I do want to find out from you, what can we do? Those who are listening right now, what can the public do to help you get to the next level? I know we're in an election year and what have you. Where can we find you? How can we support you? Just give us whatever you have.
Okay. Well, they can find us at 463 East on 83rd Street. 463 East on 83rd Street. They can also send us an email at reelect Dorothy Brown 2016 at gmail.com. They can hit us up on Facebook, through Instant Messenger on Facebook with their phone number. I have a personal Facebook account. There's a reelect Dorothy Brown 2016 Facebook account. We have an Instagram and a Twitter and all of that, so you can connect up with us in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. We can pretty much find you anywhere. You go to friendsofdorothybrown.org.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Friendsofdorothybrown.org. That is our website.
Yeah.
And and just take a look at what we have there and see how you can help us out. I mean, you can also contact us by phone at 773-231-0844.
Absolutely. Yes, and thank you for coming on and doing this for us. It's so important. Unbought and unbossed. The reelection of Dorothy Brown, Cook County. Those of you who are in the neighboring towns, y'all know about us. We having our issues in Cook County right now with the state of the city and police and mayor and on. But a lot of that's some distractions to pull us away from the things we need to be focusing, other things we need to focus on. And that's the re-election of Dorothy Brown, 2016. This is experience, integrity, this is accountability, and this is definitely transparency. Trust me, I know.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Brown. We love you so much.
All right. Love you too, Walter.
All right, take care.
Sir Walter.
Bye-bye. That was great. Dorothy Brown, love her so much. Dear friend, she's like an auntie to me. She's helped me through my career, and here I am right now. I can teach y'all some things about the business world because of her. Listen, we'll go to this break and come back, maybe talk about some of the politics of Chicago, bring up a man who we love so dearly and before he was taken away from us, the great Harold Washington. Matter of fact, we'll play a commercial from Harold Washington and then give me a couple of commercials, Brittany, and then play one from Harold Washington, and we'll come on back and talk about his history. Okay? So Walter Jones Show.
Oh no, did you miss part of today's show? Well, just head to Spreaker.com. That is Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and type in the Sir Walter Jones Show to get today's episode and past ones. So do it now.
Only one candidate for mayor has represented Chicago in both Springfield and Washington. Only one candidate has dealt successfully with big city problems in both state and federal government. Only one candidate knows how to get the money and jobs Chicago needs. So what's to keep us from making this candidate our next mayor? Nothing. Elect the one candidate qualified to be the mayor. Harold Washington.
We can all win.
Robert Smalls, during the American Civil War, became a ship's pilot, sea captain, and after a politician. His example helped convince President Lincoln to accept African American soldiers in the U.S. Army. He won an election to the South Carolina State Legislature and the United States House of Representatives. He was the longest-serving African American member of Congress until the late 20th century. This is Kenyatta Humphrey for the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Right, the toy that lets you create beautiful pictures with light. Work with colorful pegs that glow with light, light bulb not included. Make people, animals, things, and with refills, Bugs Bunny or Bozo the Clown. You can make lots of pretty pictures with Light Bright from Hasbro.
Welcome back to the Sir Walter Jones Show. I am definitely he. That's he. You just heard a interview with myself and Clerk Brown, Dorothy Brown. She's an inspiration to us all, and we need to give her another opportunity to prove her greatness. She did it in 2 terms. She can do it in another one. Good Lord. Just over and over again success. You know, people try to destroy and bring scandal and all these things, but when you know someone and you know the integrity, it is your job to fight and to defend. Like you defend the faith, you defend the person's character and integrity. And that's what I did today, and I'm going to continue to do that until the Lord calls me home. Yeah, today is Monday. And we usually talk about men issues, but we wanted to kind of sidetrack this a little bit and talk about some politics. Tomorrow we're going to do the great Portier. Sometimes they say Potier, I had a band director named Potier. But it's going to be a great show. That's Pink Perspectives Tuesday. But today I want to bring up this man here who another man who's been inspirational to us all. If you live in Chicago in the 1980s, there was a man who was running. His name was Harold Washington, born April 15, 1922. Is that tax day? April 15? Mm-hmm. He was born on tax day. Lord have mercy. And they taxed him ever since. How appropriate, huh? Yeah, November 25th, 1987 was when we lost him. He was an American lawyer and politician, elected as the 51st mayor of Chicago in February 1983. He was the first African American to serve as mayor of Chicago in office from April 29, 1983 until his death in 87. Washington was also a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from 1981 to 1983, representing the Illinois 1st District, and also previously served in the Illinois State Senate and the Illinois House of Representatives from 65 until 76. Many of you didn't know that. You just voted in a mayor, but you didn't know. We were kind of young then, but you didn't understand how powerful that man was in politics. He was an amazing orator. That man, when he opened his mouth, you had to grab a dictionary. We didn't have Google at the time. There was no internet that we know of, because we know the internet came around in 1969, but who cared? It was a big old fat box sitting in a big room. We know. We didn't care. Only ones who were using it were the colleges and universities. But when he would speak, we had our Britannica encyclopedias at the house, and we had to go in there and figure out, okay, what did he just say? I have on the show here the great Chris Bass. He does the show upstairs and talk. Them heathens that be upstairs. Yeah.
Oh, heathens.
He's a resident heathen.
Okay,
I just lifted you up a little bit.
I'll take it. Okay.
Yeah, the people are screaming about the app there, so they can't. They can hear you, but they can't hear me. So we're gonna have to figure that out.
How'd that happen?
I have no idea how. That app works for you, but it don't work for me.
We got to work on that.
Yeah, we have to work on that.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
No,
this is African American month.
Yeah, you're right. Dollar Negro month.
Dollar Negro.
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, we can't have that around here.
Hey, man.
Yes, sir.
Harold Washington.
Yes.
Were you here during that time?
Yes, and I was 18 years old. The first time I voted.
Wow.
Was for Harold Washington. My first vote. And his first run or second run? His first run.
Yeah. Whew. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
How honorable is that to vote for the first time a black mayor of a city like this?
I never figured. I was standing in line, and some of the older gentlemen were around me, and it was like, "First time, youngster?"
Wow.
I was like, "Yes, sir, it is." Oh man, it was a great day. It started to give me like a little history lesson and things like that. Man, you voted for the man.
Wow.
And to be African American, to vote for one.
Mm-hmm.
And for it to be my first time voting at 18 years old, at the time, it was just very symbolic. You felt a camaraderie of our people.
Absolutely.
Because we came out in droves.
Yeah, we did.
And stand in long lines during that time. And you knew something was very special.
Yeah.
You knew it. You felt it. Nobody could tell you anything different.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say, if you want Harold,
here's Harold.
Harold. Yeah.
And to Harold's credit, I've said this before, when I would go out of town to various cities, usually I would get, from Chicago, Al Capone.
Al Capone.
I used to hate that.
I hated it.
It's so negative. But it was two people that changed the whole game and when I started going out of town. Then it would be House Harold and Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Wow.
And those two came into conversation,
yeah.
And we finally buried the whole thing about Al Capone. Yeah.
Yeah. We finally buried it.
Again. Right.
That is so true. Now, we had some issues because the police department, of course, they were just as culturally racist then as they are now. And they were trying to get y'all off of the street. They didn't want y'all voting. I remember watching the news and listening to some of the community leaders saying, be careful out there on vote day because police going to pull you over for whatever.
Right.
Because they don't want you to vote.
Well, as they say, when it's the eyes on the prize, you can't see differently.
Yeah.
You know, because we knew it was about to be a new day.
Yeah.
And we were about to make some serious changes. And the thing about Harold was that Harold was liked by everybody, not just us black folk.
Yeah.
As you said before, I think part of the reason I started getting into talk radio was the fact I used to love watching him debate.
Yeah, man.
When he would be in debates, I mean, like you said, I would grab a thesaurus, dictionary, like, what did he just say, man? You know, so, yeah, because he would, pull out these, like, $10 million words.
Yeah, he did.
And dust them off, like, from back in the Greek days and stuff like that. I'm like, dude.
Greek days.
You know, he was, like, come out of pocket with it. He was a mayor to be proud of. Very honorable, very approachable. I met him twice. Once in Hyde Park, and then once when we did the Hands Across America.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was a part of that.
Wow.
You know, in fact, we were on Michigan and Wacker around that way before the bridge.
Yeah.
And he was out there. We were right in front of the Fannie Mae candy store. And the mayor came out there, hey, how's it going? So we held hands with the mayor.
Yeah, wow.
For the Hands Across America thing. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he would write letters, and some of the high school kids would get letters, and, you know, sometimes you get a birthday card from Harold Washington, a congratulatory letter that you entered into college, and some of my friends were like, Harold Washington just sent me a note.
Man, that goes a long way.
It was a long way. You know, he really cared. What do you think the difference between his administration opposed to President Barack Obama's administration as it pertained to African Americans?
It's very same. And I'll tell you why. Because they both had one excellent Democratic strategist in David Axelrod.
Okay.
So David Axelrod started here in Chicago with Harold.
He sure did.
And then was able to work with Barack Obama.
Right.
So it was the same game plan.
It was.
Just on the national level. So, yeah, I mean, for Barack to tap that guy to set the pattern, he already had the formula already.
Yeah, he did. Do you think, though, that Harold Washington might have done more to the advancement of colored people, no pun intended, than
the NAACP?
Right.
Yes, and for all people. I always felt that he was for all of us. Because I know some people, of course, you know, some whites who live up north and lakefront areas, like, you know, finally somebody who listens.
Wow.
So because he not only had to get our vote, but everybody else's vote.
Yeah.
And he was just a master politician.
He was.
And was able to, it's like the saying, and it fit him best, to walk with kings and queens and still have the common touch. He had that.
He did have that.
He had it with so much grace. And yeah, because everybody knew. I remember, it's funny because we go back in time when he was up against the Verdoliak 29 in the city council.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Ed Verdoliak and the 29 council members that were able to block everything he tried to pass.
Yeah.
And so it was just, it was just the classic, you know, good guy versus bad guy thing, you know, and for Verdoliak and the rest of them to, I think, stalemate some very progressive issues just got in the way of progress. And once they were able to replace those people with people that were brought in that were like-minded, that were going to work with Harold. Yeah, he was going to do some serious damage in that perspective. Yeah.
Well,
going into that second term, had he lived.
Had he lived, absolutely. Because I think the 29, which was the nemesis to Harold Washington, is the same as John Boehner's Congress to Barack Obama.
It's a great parallel.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. I totally agree with
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Congress gave him at least on the Republican side.
Yeah. Well, at least Eddie Verdoliak didn't cry like Bonner.
No, he didn't cry.
You know, Bonner would cry when the sun shines.
He did.
You know, the light turns green, he's supposed to start crying.
Please change.
Right. Go back to yellow.
Absolutely. Yeah. But in the February 22 of 1983 Democratic mayor primary, more than 100,000 new voters registered to vote. On the north and northwest sides, the incumbent mayor, Jane Byrne, led, and future mayor Richard M. Daley, son of the late mayor Richard J. Daley, finished a close second. Okay, that's right, that Daley was running that year. Harold Washington had massive majorities on the south and west sides, of course. The southwest side voters overwhelmingly supported Daley. Washington won with 37% of the vote versus 33% for Byrne and 20% for Daley. Now, Byrne got 33%. Okay, this was kind of close because the Washington 37, she's got 33. Okay, why I think so many people still rallied, especially African Americans, still rallied around Jane Byrne?
Because Jane Byrne had showed to them that she was trying to be a different mayor. Like, for example, I thought it was a publicity stunt where she moved into old Cabrini Green that time. Now, who's going to mess with the mayor of Cabrini Green?
Man,
unless she just really just SOS, stuck on stupid.
Sharpshooters on the...
Yeah, or DOD dangling on dumb. You are not going to mess with the mayor.
No, you're not.
You know, now, it probably at one point gave great security to that area. But, you know, I just thought it was publicity stuff. That's what came off to me. And I think that some people probably appreciated that. You know, our fair mayor is moving in with us, and you know, she's living with the rats and roaches. No, she's not.
Oh no, they clean. That's like
you're still living with the rats and roaches,
right,
you know, right? You know, but not her. I'm sure it was quite fumigated.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, before she moved in. So, but she still had her constituencies that still liked and wanted to see her do another term and everything else. And plus, you know, she was getting the job done from the standpoint of streets and sands. Especially, now I know about most people, if you can get the streets cleaned when it snows outside at a serious rate, you can run for mayor.
Yes, you can.
You can be mayor as long as you do that.
If you do that, right? And if you don't do that, and you are the mayor, you're gonna have to update your resume.
Absolutely, because
Bolandic lost his job because of snow.
Right.
I think every year when it snows, he goes into what's that kind of shock they call it? A shock that he goes into.
What kind of shock was that?
He goes into shell
shock.
What do they call that? Post something.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
I know he does.
POSD. TD. Oh my God. He has to be ashamed of himself, man.
You have to go in the shock. Snow shock.
Right. But you know that happens. The thing about Mayor Byrne's credit, she did care about the city.
She did.
That was genuine.
It was.
And so did Harold Washington.
Yeah.
You can really tell, especially if you go back and watch the debates, how much they really had heart for this city.
Right.
And how much they wanted to work with it. But it was just a new day. I mean, we really saw the horizon of a Harold Washington come around the peak, and it was just his time.
Yeah, it really was. Now, they recently gave Jane Byrne something in the city by giving her that we call it the spaghetti bowl. It's that interchange.
Yeah.
Okay, they finally gave her a name. Her name was nowhere in the city that had any significance. I mean, because she's responsible for quite a few things that happened here. I think.
Midway.
Something.
You know, she pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, gets credit for the precursor of the Taste of Chicago. She started Chicago Fest.
That's it.
And then that became the Taste, which is now probably one of the most, it used to be, now they'll jack the prices up, but it used to be an ongoing event every summer. People would circle their calendars and make it an event. People coming from out of town and want to be a part of the Taste and everything else. So she's credited, as far as I'm concerned, for spearheading that.
I agree with that, and it took them a long time to do anything. Now we lost her November the 14th, 2014. I'm glad she was able to live long enough to see something.
Yes,
with her name on it. Her daughter, thank God for her that she rallied for many years to uphold her mother's legacy. But the black vote split. All right, we haven't seen nothing like the Harold Washington run since, because when a black man runs, another black person runs, and another black person runs, now you're splitting the black vote. Okay, when Harold ran, it was just Harold, if I can remember.
Correct.
And so we all knew, vote for that one man.
Right.
Now every 4 years, how long was the mayor's office? Is it 4 or 6?
4.
4. Okay. Yeah. We keep splitting. We don't know who to vote for because we keep splitting the family up.
Yes.
Do you think that this is the way it's going to be?
Unfortunately, because we do not have a sense of, like you said before, there's a great word you use, family, and a sense of allegiance, like we had before. I'm not saying it's not there,
right?
But sometimes it needs to be probably re-educated to a different generation of people. For example, see, like if we go back when unfortunately Harold died, remember, all of a sudden this was brouhaha back at City Hall. We need a mayor immediately. He wasn't even cold in the ground yet.
That's true.
And this big brouhaha, I remember, was Alderman Richard Mell, who was the father-in-law of a football head. What was his name? Rob Blagojevich. The governor, was standing on the desk, saying, we got to get a new mayor. And all this, raucous that shouldn't even have been. And then you split the vote by putting two black men against each other in Eugene Sawyer and Timothy Evans.
It sure did.
Split the whole thing up.
Split it.
Divide and conquer. It was a classic divide and conquer.
Yeah.
And so City Hall was out there all night to midnight, beyond that, trying to find out, we need a new mayor, all that time. So it just, and we fell for the okie-doke. It was the setup of all time, and we fell for it.
We did fall for it. And it split us again. You're right, because they were calling one Uncle Tom and the other one, it says here, although winning the Democratic primary is normally tantamount to election in heavily Democratic Chicago, after his primary victory, Washington found that his Republican opponent, a former state legislator, Bernard Epton, remember that dude? Okay,
Old Man Epton,
Old Man Epton, early considered a nominal stand-in, was supported by many high-ranking Democrats and their ward organizations, including the chairman of the county, Democratic Party, Alderman Edward Fast Eddie Verdoliak. He eventually got in trouble later on. I met it. I became friends with Edward. You'd be surprised. Edward Verdoliak is not that bad of a guy. Sure.
He really isn't.
Sure. He just didn't like that one guy.
There you go.
Because I think he got the law group, Verdoliak Law Group. Epton's campaign referred to, among other things, Washington convicted for failure to file income tax returns. He had paid the taxes but had not filed the return. Washington, on the other hand, stressed reforming the Chicago patronage system and the need for a jobs program in a tight economy. And in April 1983, I took y'all way back to 18, sorry.
Right.
Mayor general election, Washington defeated Epton by 3.7% and 51.7% to 48% to become mayor of Chicago. Washington was sworn in April 29, 1983, and resigned his congressional seat. But during the tenure of him, Washington lived at the Hampton House apartments in Hyde Park. Okay, those of you who live in that area, our president lives just a few blocks.
That's right.
He created the city's first environmental affairs department under the management of longtime Great Lakes environmentalist Lee Boltz. Washington's first term in office was characterized by conflict with the city council, dubbed the Council Wars, you mentioned earlier, referred to then as recent Star Wars films, and caused Chicago to be nicknamed Beirut on the Lake. Man, I'm telling you, it's like this happened yesterday.
Right.
And I am going to a break at 5. A 29 alderman city council majority refused to enact Washington's legislation and prevented him from appointing nominees to boards and commissions. I mean, this sounds just like the president's fight.
It is.
First term challenges included city population loss, increased crime, and a massive decrease and ridership on the Chicago Transit Authority. Sounds so familiar, and then of course we've got this governor right now.
Oh yeah, Governor Rauner.
Yeah, he showed up at Dorothy Brown's church. We just had Dorothy Brown on the past hour, and he showed up at King of Glory Church of God in Christ, not far from here.
Okay.
Pastor Hodges, shout out to him. I called him today, see if he can come on the show, and. If you go on Facebook, you'll see him rebuking Rauner. It was an amazing sight. There was Rauner and his wife there.
Right.
And Pastor Hodges was there. Everybody was standing up. I don't know if they was getting ready to pray or dismiss. I'm not sure. And he says, God is not pleased with what you're doing to the poor. He said that.
And also God's not pleased by Rodner hiring his wife for over $100,000 salary. Talk about keeping the family. Come on now.
Can you hang with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, my man. Hey, going to this break here. I guess we can play. Well, yeah, do what you do, Brittany. And I was about to call her Bridget, but she don't answer that name no more. I'll come back. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Sir Walter Jones Show.
Oh no! Did you miss part of today's show? Well, just head to Spreaker.com. That is Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and type in the Sir Walter Jones Show to get today's episode and past ones. So do it now.
Chicago, Chicago, that's all the time. Chicago.
The machine that ran Chicago doesn't work anymore. Yet Jane Byrne and Richie Daley are still fighting over it. Harold Washington has a different plan.
But while they fight over that machine, I shall fight for Chicago by getting jobs and money from the state and federal government.
Harold Washington.
We can all win.
Great, Ray. That's a wrap.
Huh?
California sunshine. California sunshine. I heard it through the grapevine.
That's sweet.
If you'd like to hear Ella Fitzgerald's voice crystal clear, you'll record on new Memorex MRX3 cassette tape. It reproduces live sound with such crystal clear fidelity, you'll have to ask, is it Ella or is it MRX3? Is it live or is it Memorex?
Today's legend is Pulitzer Prize winner John H. White, one of the first black photographers to work at an American daily newspaper. His career spans over 45 years, with 30 of those teaching within the photojournalism department at Columbia College in Chicago. He says his greatest joy is being the eyes for the people of Chicago on a daily basis and sharing what he sees and feels through the lens of his camera. This is Demetria Brand Triplett for the Sir Walter Jones Show.
The following show is paid program and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Today is Monday, and that means it's the Men Chronicles, a woman's guide to men. No, we are not from Mars, but we are from homes that raise us correctly and, more importantly, godly. Get to know us a little better in the Men's Chronicles, right here on the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Welcome back to the Sir Walter Jones Show with the great Chris Bass. We're talking about the great Harold Washington on our Legends series here. Man, I tell you, things are not like it used to be. And the more things change, the more they stay the same. We keep trying to go back and then go forward. And then it seems like when we go forward, we take a few steps backwards. We were talking about the 1980s and how it was a very good time for some of us, and it was not a great time for the others of us. We talked about the Verdoli Act and Bernie Eppin and let's see, Jane Byrne and so many of the names that some of you out there in Chicagoland who listen. But also Dan Rostenkowski. Yeah. You remember that name?
Yes, I do.
Oops.
No, those were heavy hitters.
Yeah, they were.
In the political world, yeah.
Roszkowski, he eventually got in trouble. U.S. Congressman. And then Edward Burke, of course, he was the financial chair at the time. Let's see. And Washington ruled by veto the 29, that 29 we mentioned earlier, lacked the 30th vote they needed to override Washington's veto. Female and African American aldermen supported Washington despite pressure from the Eddies. They call them Eddie. I won't have Eddie. Yeah, I won't have. Washington defeated former Mayor Jane Byrne in February 24, 1987, a Democratic mayoral primary. And in April 7, 1987, mayoral general election defeated Verdoliak, Illinois Solidarity Party. He went to a Solidarity Party. I wonder what kind of party was that.
It was Solidarity, too.
They were Solidarity. Cook County Assessor Thomas Hines, Chicago's first party, a Daily ally, dropped out of the race 36 hours before the mayoral general election. During Washington's second term, the Eddies fell from power. Verdoliak became a Republican. Kelly was removed from his powerful Parks post, and Burke lost his financial committee chairmanship. I mean, it just was dropping like flies.
Yes, they were.
That's like karma.
I agree. And I remember, watching those council wars every day on the news. They had, just like wall-to-wall coverage sometimes, depending on what station you was watching, or you see some tidbits, on the 5 or 10 o'clock news. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Just the fact that here you are, you're purposely putting up defenses.
Yeah.
So this mayor can get anything done. And it just, forget white and black. It wasn't good for the city.
Right.
It wasn't good for people of all backgrounds. And it just showed just the nasty side of what some people would do in order for them to achieve some sort of power.
The nasty side.
Yes. Very nasty.
You think Chicago is still the racist city that it was remember when Martin Luther King came?
Right.
He says he had never seen racism. He says he fought through the trenches in Birmingham, Alabama.
And he's from the South, and he said that. This is a northern city, of course, stating the obvious. He's going to say it's the racist city you ever been in. That's deep.
That is deep.
That's deep. You have to understand the connotation behind it. I'm talking about racist South, where he came from. And this northern city in Chicago, Illinois, is the racist you ever been to, spoke volumes.
It is.
And it still does.
Yes. Remember the little town of Cicero, where you couldn't get caught. If you were black, you had to be a maid or you was working there maybe.
Yeah.
And after dark, after it's time to clock out of work, you had to get up out of there.
Yes.
For many, many years, no blacks lived in Cicero.
Not at all.
Not a one on the police force.
Not at all.
Okay. I remember going through there and be called a nigger, when I was younger. Scared stiff. I'm like, what? Why are they calling me a nigger?
Right. Yeah.
What'd I do to them?
I ain't know anything to them. Right. Exactly. Man, I remember when I was back at ABC Radio for WLS here in Chicago, and we had to cover, like most medias, not all, the O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh, boy.
Man, I hate it with a passion because we covered that for 9-10 months straight. Now, imagine covering something for the same topic for 10 months. It will drive you nuts. Now, I'm already a nut.
Right, yeah.
I don't need to be more nuts. You know what I'm saying? So I literally, after Friday, I would go home or, see my family and friends and drink.
Yeah.
I don't recommend alcoholism. That's not the point.
Right.
The point, I need some form of escapism.
Right.
So by the time Monday hits, I got to deal with the grind of the same topic over and over and over. Because everybody was trying to get to the point where, okay, is he guilty or not? So we all found out, of course, he was acquitted. Yeah. I kid you not. When we found out about that, I was just happy it was over with.
Yes.
I didn't care if he was acquitted or not, if he was guilty. I just wanted to be over with because you got to figure 10 months of your life is gone covering Orange Juice Simpson. So I just wanted to be over. So I go into work the next day, I kid you not, and white employees who I thought we were friendly with would not speak to me.
Of course.
I get in the elevator. Hey, good morning, Fred. How's it going? Fred didn't say anything.
Nope.
And then if it was a female who had a purse, had the nerve to clutch her purse.
I know.
And see me there every day. I'm like
you, OJ's.
I'm like, I'm
lawyers.
like, look, I'm not AC Collins. I get over with. I am not. Orange Juice Simpson. I'm not. I'm me. I'm just trying to go to work.
You sure you didn't own a white Bronco?
No.
No. You don't own a white Bronco?
No, sir.
Okay, maybe she was colorblind because your Bronco was red.
No, I had none whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
But it's just the body language.
Yeah.
In particular, showed me how much this country, not just Chicago, this country still is racist because racism is learned behavior.
Yeah.
And people teach that to others.
They do.
Because, and look, you've seen it before. Children playing around with each other, they don't know unless somebody teaches them.
You're right.
Come here, Bobby. Stay away from that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what's the nigga? So it's learned. Or if you're at home at television and you see blacks on television, look at them Negroes or something, whatever. And once again, being inquisitive people, especially children, they're going to ask their parent or parents, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
And then they're going to copy what their parents do because they're the first learning mechanism that they see and going to imitate.
That is so true. I'm sure you've seen this. They were doing a study. They had a child in front of a bunch of dolls.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
That just amazed me. And the dolls was from white down to black skin.
Right.
And the person would ask, "Okay, tell me what's the scary doll?"
Right.
The kid would point to the black doll.
Yeah.
Both white kid and a black kid will point to the black doll.
Sure did.
Which one's the most friendly that you would love to have to play with? And they would point to the white doll.
Yeah.
Now, these were young kids. They might have been 2 years old, 3 years old, okay?
Right.
And some people say, you see what I'm saying? Racism not taught because they just knew right away. No. It's the imagery that they're around, and it is some of these things, some of the teaching is very subtle.
Yes.
Because, first of all, the separation of the races is one subtle way, okay? But notice, when a kid has not been around a black kid, maybe ever, and of course that's hard to find in today's world. But then and he walks up to this black kid, okay? He may play in his hair and says, "Wow, look at your hair," because of the wool, play with the hair and maybe rub the skin. Wow, you're darker than me. No hatred there. The kid is just different.
Yeah, it's a wonderment.
That's what it is. It's a wonderment, and he's just fascinated by the dark skin of the child. No hatred yet.
No.
Okay, it is not until an adult says or not. You don't have to say anything. Just do. Is what the kid is watching this. I don't know if you ever seen a movie called American History X. It was by Ed Norton, I think his name.
Oh, I think I saw.
He played a skinhead or something like that.
Right, but he changed.
He
evolved.
Yes, he evolved. And I played that file a few times, and I don't know if Brittany could find it. Probably can't because we've got our system is different now. Cause it's called American History X.
She's like, I can't find this thing right now.
Yeah, you're not gonna find it on my new video. Oh no, that's yours. Yeah, American History X.
Yes, I remember that movie.
Yeah, there and that movie just really opened up my eyes about how racism starts because they were sitting at the dinner table. That's when it happened. And the father was talking to Norton, a young Norton at the time.
Right.
Whatever his character was. And he says, Scooter, yes, I'm enjoying class. We got gym class. We got this new teacher in gym class. And the father's like, okay, yeah, well, what's his name? Mr. So-and-so. Okay, what did y'all learn today? We learned black American history or something.
Right.
He said, excuse me? Yeah, he's a great teacher, and he teaches us yada, yada, yada. And the father was like, be careful. Be careful of them black people. They all this affirmative bull, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Okay. And Ed Norton was like, well, I don't understand, but he's really a great guy.
Yeah.
And the father was like, no, let me tell you something. And he began to pour on that little boy, all of the subtle bigotry in this boy. And he says, you hear me? And they was like, yeah, I understand. Do you hear me? Yes, you're right. You're right. I understand. And then the movie fast forward years later, and he's now skinhead.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying?
Got it.
I thought that was an amazing depiction of how it starts.
You are correct. Because once again, you have no idea until somebody teaches you about that. I mean, I remember back in the days, about the 80s, my family and me went to Alpine Valley, Wisconsin for the summer. And it was me, my family, of course, and then another black family from Milwaukee. Other than that, everybody was white. And so I remember I really started to get into golf during that time. I was like 13, 14. I was like, I really want to learn how to play golf because they had a golf course there. And so I figured I'd ask somebody. And so there was this guy who happened to be white, who was the same age as me, and he kept talking to me in Mr. T's voice, from the A-Team. I paid the fool, and and everything. So I thought it was a joke at first. And then I realized, wait. I said, 'cause we're on the golf course, right? I was like, I was learning about irons and woods and stuff like that and pars. And he was teaching me. Yeah, so you take the iron like this. I was like, well, why are you talking like that? Now I'm getting upset. Oh, you think because I'm black, I like Mr. T.
Oh,
I don't like him like that. He's a good dude from Chicago and everything else, but I don't like him like that.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. No, just stop the Mr. T crap and just talk to me like anybody else. I mean, I'm gonna shoot, from 6 par if you sit there, put the ball, fool. I'm like, I ain't no fool, first of all. And let me do this, let me grab the iron and let me do what I gotta do. So it was a cultural shock for him because you got to figure all the I don't know how many black people we ran into, but you don't talk Mr. T-E's to black folk.
True.
And I had to let him know about that. He did apologize a lot, and once we got on that term, I said, "Look, just be yourself, man. I'm not trying to be anybody else. Just be yourself." And once he broke that down, he was all right.
That's so true. We're going to edit that file in there, Brittany, tonight for those of you listeners out there. So if you're listening to the Spreaker show, I will put in that American History X file at the end of the show, so you can hear that amazing camaraderie between the father, the son, and watch this in the movie. It's the father, the mother is sitting across from the father. It's Ed Norton, the boy that he's playing, and then Ed's little brother.
Right.
And the brother is listening to this conversation.
Yes.
Because the little brother's looking up to Ed.
Right.
Okay, just look. And y'all help me with this character. If you can go to, what's that, IDB something, whatever that website is. Go to that movie. Yeah, go to the movie and find out what his character's name is. Because I keep saying Ed, but Ed Norton. But
fantastic actor, really.
And it's amazing actor.
Yes.
Okay. And the brother is looking at
looking up to him.
Yes. And he follows him all the way through his skinhead activities. And then Ed wound up being the one trying to rescue the boy from just an amazing movie.
It really is, and movies like that I really had to tip my hat to because it's very well written. It's probably a truer story than we're used to because pretty much what you see about racism this, and it's not really cut and dry. You said before, I like what you mentioned about the dichotomy of the father telling him about how he said about black folk and affirmative action and everything else, because you do hear it from your family. I was just on a side note, I remember my maternal grandfather, God rest his soul, hated whites.
Yeah.
He made it clear to me when I was growing up, I hate white men. I hate white people. I don't like them. I don't care for them. But he didn't want me to hate white people because he's like, don't hate because I hate them. Because I have a reason to all these years. You don't have to.
Wow.
So I think it's a very important lesson to learn from.
Norton's character was
Derek Vineyard. Okay.
And his brother was Danny, and his mom was named Doris, and I think his father was named Dennis.
The D thing.
The D family.
Right.
Yeah. Go to iTunes and y'all watch that. I don't know if it's on Netflix or not. But on the November 25th, 1987, at 11 a.m., I'll never forget this moment. Okay, I was dating at the time, getting ready to get married to this woman. All right, we were in Ever Black Mall.
I know exactly where it was.
Good old Evergreen. Is it closed yet?
It's closed down, yeah.
Yeah. Not it's still cars.
What? Oh, okay, like 2 stores open in a big concept guy. A big mall.
The outlet mall. Okay. Yeah, they have to do something.
A new Everblack.
A new Everblack. Right. Okay. Well, Evergreen Plaza was the place to go.
Yes, it was.
All right. They were whites going there.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, that's their territory, and we will come, and they say, "Oh Lord, here they come." So it became Everblack. All right. I bought my first wedding ring in Evergreen Plaza.
Ah, okay.
But 1987, right out of college, that is, I'm there, and I'm there, looking in the window at the breaking news, standing next to the woman who was getting ready to be my wife. We had known each other for many years, but we hadn't seen each other in God knows how many years. And then there we were standing there. Hey, I remember you. I remember you. On and on. We're looking at the news, and there was a report of Harold Washington slumped on the desk. Okay. And then everybody's hearts just dropped.
Yes.
We're like, okay, this cannot be happening to us. This cannot be happening to us.
Right.
Just that morning, he was out breaking ground. I remember I woke up that morning, turned on the news. I was always a news buff. And he was, shoveling because they were breaking ground for something. And then he went to the office and he collapsed on his desk. And I says, wow, gone is an error.
Yeah.
Man, he died. I heard the news. He died. And it reminded me of, remember Walter Cronkite made the announcement?
John F. Kennedy.
And, that was a moment in time. You see he take his glasses off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was very emotional.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It just broke him.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked up and he says, at 11 o'clock Pacific.
Central Standard Time.
And what have you. And then,
he shook his head like type right. And that had to be not only difficult, but painful.
Yes.
When we got news like that. I know exactly where I was. I was a salesman in fact, I was working in college at Mystels.
Ooh, Mystels.
We used to be on Roosevelt and Wabash. I worked in the men's department, the 3rd floor.
Oh, my goodness.
I was working in the jeans and shirts and sweater department.
Amazing.
And I was folding up jeans. We only got a shipment in on Wednesdays.
Sure.
And I was folding up, and we heard on the radio about him, and I just froze.
I know.
Because I was like, you got to be kidding me.
You got to be kidding me.
This man was about to really, become powerful.
Gosh.
I say it wasn't powerful then, but the July 29 was just broken up.
Yeah, they were collapsing.
And city council got other aldermen, like I said before, early in the conversation. And I'm like, it's really about to really, get some power and get some things passed in city council. But yeah, it was highly emotional. I don't think it was a dry eye at the job at the time.
Oh no, it wasn't. I went to not the funeral, but the viewing. They had his body in state at City Hall, and I stood in that line. It was of course it was November, so it was cold, and I was standing there with my she wasn't a fiance just yet, but. And the line wrapped around City Hall a couple times. Okay.
Right.
And finally, when I finally got in after sitting out there for about an hour or so, I remember what's our Muslim friend?
Louis Farrakhan?
Yeah, he walked in with his empire.
His empire.
With his empire.
Right.
And he wasn't standing in no line. He went straight to the body.
Okay.
And I just looked at that man. Just couldn't believe that, because I had so many high hopes. That's his man. Because I had been in college. I had been away in Daytona Beach for a while.
Oh, okay.
So me coming back, I just couldn't wait to come back home to see what my mayor was doing.
Absolutely.
And now he's gone.
I'll share this story with you too, which yours truly almost went to jail that day.
Wow.
We were, of course, me and my coworkers, we're sitting there crying, and this one dumb coworker says to us, "Why are you guys crying for?" I'm like, "You heard on the radio the mayor's dead." Well, that's what he gets. I'm like, whoa. I was like, whoa, wait. What'd you say? That's what he gets for being so fat. And that's what he gets for not taking care of himself.
Wow.
And so he pretty much just said, the man killed over of a heart attack because he deserved it. So now we're already upset because the mayor's gone.
Of course.
And so somebody came over, one of my coworkers was like, man, we gonna mess him up after the job, man. You know, after he gets off at 5 o'clock. You know, so yeah, I know he gets off at 5 o'clock. You want to join in? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, no, we got the meal. We was about to meet his maker that day. Seriously, you know.
Wow.
And so we decided to give him a free pass because he does not know what he says.
Yeah, he had no idea.
You know, because really, I was just, I mean, once again, grown men crying.
Sure.
You know, and there's a haberdashery.
Yeah.
You know, now, you know, no, and you know, I was saying this is a hell of a sight.
Yeah.
And he comes over to talk about, you know, the mayor deserves to be dead because he was fat.
This is a
Dude, yeah,
perfect storm.
Yeah. You want to die. You know, you want to meet the mayor.
Yeah, you want to.
You know, right at this point in time. So don't get me wrong, we will accommodate.
Yeah, we will. We will help you out.
I'm sitting there like, you know, just crying and carrying on. And the guy was like, "Hey, man, great, Chris, you wanna mess him up afterwards?" Yeah. I felt like Arsenio Hall from right.
What was it?
Harlem Nights.
Yeah,
he was like, we're gonna beat his head off.
Put that little gun away.
Right. Don't shoot a little mother hummer no more. But we were that's how highly charged we were.
Yeah.
And we were like, you know, we didn't eat lunch.
I know.
You know, we could keep our bearings. It was like, man, don't eat lunch, man. Keep your strength up. All right, I won't eat no lunch. You know, so I mean, we were about to, but we decided not to.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I wouldn't be here right now.
Not going to say you'd have a record. You'd have a record right now.
Yes, sir.
And it's not a football record. If we done by the, well, we'd be fighting to get you to expunge by now. But of course, people were saying he got poison.
Poison. I heard that too. Yeah.
You know, that usually comes afterwards because they said the man was fat, but he was healthy. Everybody said, you know, but you know, today it becomes a JFK type story.
Of course, conspiracy theories.
Sure. Chicago Fire Department paramedics were called to City Hall. Washington Press Secretary Alton Miller had been discussing school board issues with the mayor when Washington suddenly slumped over his desk, falling unconscious. After failing to revive Washington in his office, paramedics rushed him to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Further resuscitation attempts failed, and Washington was pronounced dead at 1:36 p.m. At Daily Plaza, Patrick Keene, project director for the Westside Habitat for Humanity, announced Washington's official time of death to a separate gathering of Chicagoans. Remember when that other Kennedy had to announce about MLK's shooting?
Robert.
Yeah, and you heard the people scream.
Yeah, he made that announcement in I think it was Indianapolis, Indiana, somewhere like that. And I've always, if people just do their history, if you go back and just on the sidetrack real quick, listen to Robert Kennedy tell that speech to mostly, if not all, African Americans at that time that Dr. King was assassinated. The fact that he was able to relate, because I remember him saying, "My brother was killed by a white man." Yeah.
Yes.
And the side note to that, the backstory was that he was wearing one of his brother's coats when he was making that speech.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you, history is amazing.
It is, isn't it?
And I can't understand why many of us don't know history.
Well, it's easy because you have to want to know it.
You have to want to know it. Whew. Just something. You know, who was that? Remember when the Tonight Show with who was after Carson, the Moonface band?
Jane Leno.
Jane Leno, yeah.
He was a Mac Tonight. Yeah,
Mac Tonight.
Right. Yeah. Big old face. Man.
Well, he had this wonderful thing called jaywalking.
Jaywalking,
my favorite. And he would basically have a picture of somebody, either in politics or someone famous.
Yeah, who was this person?
Who was this person? And the people had no clue. And sometimes he would have the vice president. He may have a Speaker of the House. Somebody you're supposed to know.
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand you can't get a person's name sometimes, but you should recognize the face.
I agree.
And those people couldn't recognize the face on there. I don't know who he is.
I don't know who is that.
Who is Beyonce?
Who's it? I don't know. Jack Lemmon?
Jack Lemmon.
Right. It just make this anybody but the person in hand. Right.
It's just amazing what's wrong with us. Man, I think I'm going to get out of here early. How about that, Bridget? What's your name? Britannica. I'm going to get out of here early.
Britannica.
Yeah. Man, she
stop the music.
You might as well keep that playing. I mean,
Britannica. I'm sorry. That could be your new name, Brittany. I'm telling you. I might just steal that, but Britannica. Britannica.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. The silence of silence. I like that song.
Total silence, man. Jeez.
Absolutely. Bates, you had to, man, I tell you what, I cancel your show more often, man. I was enjoying you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, so no, cool. I had to cancel more often.
Yeah, man.
Like you said, yes.
Well, I did want to finish reading this immediately after Washington's death. Rumors about how Washington died began to surface. In 1988, Dr. Antonio Sanat, Washington's personal physician, denied unfounded speculations that Washington had cocaine in his system at the time of his death. Or that foul play was involved. Cook County Medical Examiner Robert J. Stein performed an autopsy on Washington and concluded that Washington had died of heart attack. Washington had weighed 284 pounds and suffered from hypertension, high cholesterol levels, and an enlarged heart. Whew, good Lord.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. Alton Miller indicated that drug reports for Washington had come back negative, and Washington had not been poisoned prior to his death. Dr. Stein stated that the only drug in Washington's system had been lidocaine. I guess that sounds close to cocaine. They figured, well, there's some cane in it.
I'm sorry. What kind of cane?
Lidocaine.
Little cane.
Yeah, not big cane.
Right. Meet my son, Little Cane.
Little Cane.
Right.
Okay. Little Cane, also known as xylocaine and lignocaine.
Part of the cane family.
The part of the cane family is a medication used to numb tissue in a specific area and to treat ventricular tachycardia. Tachycardia.
You get it.
Tachycardia, okay. It can also be used as a nerve block.
All right.
Yeah, now you know what lidocaine is. I used to listen to Eddie Kane.
Eddie Kane Jr.
Nights like this.
Wasn't that pitiful? For one thing, here's the thing about that scene real quick from 5 Heartbeats. I would give it to him if he was just singing and didn't have the old uniform on.
Yeah.
That type of thing. It was like, I was like, dude, take the uniform off.
Take it off.
Take it off, man. Just even sing it as a bum in your bum clothes.
A bum in your bum clothes. Oh my goodness. We're doing our Legends series all month. Mr. Eddie Kane.
Eddie Kane again? Yeah. Britannica.
Yeah, Britannica. Britannica's on board. And tomorrow we call Pink Perspective is our women's show, but we want to highlight a man, and we want to highlight the great Sidney Poitier.
Oh yes.
What's your favorite movie?
With him, I would have to say In the Heat of the Night.
Okay,
is my favorite with him in it. Him directing, I'll probably have to say
Stir Crazy.
Yeah, okay, Stir Crazy was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he really has a great eye.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Definitely, and he got a lot of movies. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite one, and which one he won the Oscar for, is Lilies of the Field.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
To this day, I can watch that movie every day.
Well, you know who? He lip sync.
He did.
And you know who sang that?
Who?
Was Jester Hairston. Rollerblade.
Hairston. He sure did.
Right.
That's right.
For 227.
Sure did.
He's the one that sung. The Amen song.
You're right. You all in my notes.
Yeah. Oh man, that was fantastic.
That's so true. He sure did. Did a great job lip syncing, by the way.
He did.
But he did bring the Oscar on for that. First one for us. For
one of the scenes he had at Leaves of the Field, he was talking to one of the ladies there. He was like, "Mama, I'm a Baptist. I don't go to mass."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great actor.
God,
great actor.
wish I had you on the show tomorrow for that. That's pretty good. Cancel your show.
Hey, I don't know. I might cancel tomorrow just to be on your show.
My God.
Your show sounds better than mine right now, man. I was like,
well, but they can hear you on your show today. They can't hear me right now.
Okay. I won't name any names behind the scenes, but we got to work on that.
All right.
That's not cool, man. You know, you're my partner in crime, man. We
I
got to make that
appreciate
happen.
it. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I'm gonna get out of here. You can go ahead and get me out of here, Brittany, and see if we could. We'll post this on Facebook, not Facebook. Well, it will be on Facebook, but we're going to post it on Spreaker tonight. And when we do it on Spreaker, it goes to YouTube and Twitter and Facebook at the same time. So those of you can catch us one place. If you can't catch us one place, you can catch us the other places. Okay, and you can go to our website, SirWalterJones.com. Or go to Facebook.com. That's our fan page, is the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Before we get out of here, who did your theme song?
Let's see. I got two.
Okay.
I've been playing the old one. My friend Big Luke out there on Facebook.
The ones like the old fashioned type organ, you know, like the little toe tapper.
Oh, I did that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
That gets. I'm
You
like,
that?
because I started calling you Sir Walter Jones.
Yeah, yes, you did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was like, because I hear it, you know, like Sir Walter Jones.
What about
good for you? That's a good. That's a toe tapper, man. I would tell him, like he knows what he's doing, man. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Oh, thank you. But you gotta stop. You gotta stop wearing that priest collar.
Yeah,
I see you on there. You gotta stop doing that.
I guess that.
man.
Well, I haven't done it since you told me stop.
Okay, don't do that no more.
Yeah, well, he's not around you.
It's not good look for you. Don't do that, sir.
It make me look like I'm about to go chase a boy.
Dominoes, man. You know, it's not good look for you, man.
Dominoes.
I
like their pizza.
Yeah. I had extra cheese yesterday,
Right.
man.
Get me out of here, Brendan.
He's like, all right, man.
All right,
Sir
then.
Walter Jones.
There it is.
Right.
Bye, y'all.
I think your mayor is a wonderful fellow, but I depart radically from him when he says that he would hope that I would have all the good qualities of past mayors. There are no good qualities of past mayors to be had. None. I did not mourn at the bar of the late mayor. I regret anyone dying. I have no regrets about him leaving. He was a racist from the core, head to toe and hip to hip. There's no danger of doubt about it. And he spewed and fawned and oppressed black people to the point that some of them thought that was the way they were supposed to live. Just like some slaves on the plantation thought that was the way they're supposed to live. I give no hosannas to a racist, nor do I appreciate or respect his son. If his name were anything other than Daley, his campaign would be a joke. He has nothing to offer anybody but a bent-up tin-can smile, no background, and he runs on the legacy of his name, an insult to common sense and decency. Everything I've ever got in the world, I worked for it. Nobody gave me anything. And although I may sound abrasive, I have no malice toward anybody. I have a job to do. I've got places to go and things to do. And I approach this job just like any masterful surgeon when you have to cut out a cancer. I cut it out with no emotion. Get it out. Get it out. This dominant culture may have messed up my pocket, but they haven't messed up my head one bit. So I approach this awesome job with pride. Pride in my community. Pride in the ability of my community to rouse up as though they had been a sleeping giant and to recognize that there is a responsibility that they have that they cannot shirk. Nobody else is going to shoulder that burden. I believe in the powers of redemption, and I simply cannot believe in the God I worship that he would permit us to sit on this earth for 400 years, or rather in this country for 400 years, and suffer the indignities which we have suffered, piled time after time, high after high, and so heavy it has almost broken the backs of one of the most powerful people in this world. I can't believe there is no redemption. But that redemption is not going to come out in hatred. It's going to come out in positive attitude toward our fellow man. I represent, and you represent, the fruit of the loom, the best this world has to offer. We've been through the crucible. We've been through the crucible. And we have come out with strong and powerful tensile strength. We are a high and good and moral people. We have no explanations to give to anybody. We don't have to explain our existence. We don't have to explain the thing that we want to, a part of the political power of this country, not to suppress anybody, but to add our good. We've come into the 1980s with an understanding that we have not just a right but a responsibility to give the best that we have to a society. We want to give it, and we're going to give it if we have to beat them across the head, knock them down, and make them take it. We're going to give it to them.
By chance, Harold doesn't win, runs a close second. Some will say your vote was wasted. No. I would rather vote for something I want and not get it than vote for something I don't want and get it. And that's been the case of Chicago all these years. But I think the intelligence of Chicagoans will result in quite conceivably can be a victory for Harold. And to my white fellow Chicagoans, I say this transcends race. It involves vision. It involves self-respect for yourself and for your intelligence, which I shall exercise on that day when I vote for Harold Washington.
I don't support the rights of people because I'm a politician. I support the rights of people because it's deep within me, a natural part of my own development. I am the outgrowth not of just father and mother. I am the results of 400 and some odd years of struggle. Sanctum, man's inhumanity to man, a struggling group of people who are trying to not just abide, have made up their minds that they're not just going to survive, but will prevail in a coalitional basis with all other people, so it follows us night does day. That when people cry for help, whether they're Chinese coolies, or South African Bantus, or serfs in Russia, or South African held in bondage, or gay and lesbians pushed around, that I'll be there and defending them and supporting them. That's just no big deal. That's what the fight is all about. And that's what we're all about. We don't want anything we don't earn. We're not taking anybody from anything. We just want a fair share for all the people in this city. Now, I happen to be talking to a black audience, but you understand that I've got to be fair to everybody. And I will be fair to everybody, but I'm going to insist that for the first time, this city is fair to you. Are you with me? I got a witness. I better quit while I'm ahead. Certainly, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I shall dwell on the 5th floor of City Hall. Thank you. In the past, you have done so much to make this community a tight-knit, wonderful, productive community. You've done so much that I'm going to get family. You've done so much I'm going to give you all I've got, everything I've got. I wouldn't give it to anybody else. I saved it for you because I want you to have it. Every one of you. You know what it is? I'm going to be your mayor for the next 20 years.
Hey, ladies and gents, if you missed any of today's show, head to Spreaker.com and search The Sir Walter Jones Show and listen to this show and past shows. Now remember, search for The Sir Walter Jones Show on Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker, spelled Spreaker.com. And enjoy.
It's hard to look back and see the truth about people you love. I think if you asked Derek why it all went the way it did and where it all started, he'd still say it started when our father was murdered. But the truth is, it started earlier.
All right. Are we all meeting together for the game tonight?
Yes, definitely.
All right, Ben's Burger is 7 o'clock, then we go watch the big guy play.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
You psyching up for the game?
Oh, yeah, I'm always ready for that. I got an English exam, 3rd period. I'm having a heart attack. I'm not ready.
What's the matter, Fred? You going to get a B? Might do you good. B minus.
Oh. Hey, don't laugh. I'm telling you, this guy is different. Dr. Sweeney, this guy's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I've never had a teacher like this. He's got like 2 PhDs. I don't know what he's doing teaching in our school. He's not like other teachers.
What's he got you reading?
We got this essay exam on this book, Native Son. All in this one book.
Native Son? What's that? I don't know that.
Well, that's a big surprise.
What, I read?
Honey, they don't teach Tom Clancy in school. Well, they don't.
So what is it? What is this Native Son? What is it?
Nothing. It's like this book about this black guy, you know? We're doing this whole black literature, you know?
What is it, Black History Month?
No, it's just like This guy Sweeney, you know, it's part of the course now.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing, it's just, you know, it's everywhere I look now.
What?
This affirmative blaction.
Honey, a few new books doesn't qualify as affirmative black action.
Hey, read the book, ace the guy's test. Just don't swallow everything he feeds you whole. You know, just because you see it on the evening news.
No, but like what?
All this stuff about making everything equal, it's not that simple. Look, now you got this book, Native Son. You know, what happened to the other books in the course? They're not any good anymore because Mr. 2 PhD says they aren't? Huh? I mean, you gotta trade in great books for black books? Does that make sense? Huh? You gotta question these things, Dare. You gotta look at the whole picture. You know, we're talking about books here, but I'm also talking about my job. I got 2 black guys on my squad now who got their job over a couple of white guys who actually scored higher in the test. Does that make sense? Huh? Yeah, sure, everything's equal now, but I got 2 guys watching my back, responsible for my life, who aren't as good as 2 other guys. You only got the job because they were black, not because they were the best.
That sucks.
Yeah. Is that what America's about? No, America's about best man for the job. You do your best, you get the job. You know, this affirmative action crap. I don't know what that's about. There's like some hidden agenda or something going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I don't know, I didn't think about it like that.
Well,
this guy, though, I don't know, Dr. Sweeney, he comes on like so strong. It's kind of hard not to listen to him, but I don't know, maybe some of what he says is kind of, yeah. Yeah, maybe.
No. It's nigger vote. You see that, don't you?
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, I will.
Good boy. Proud of you.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right.
You have been listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show, where Sir Walter Jones provides you with a biblical perspective on everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones at his website, www.sirwalterjones.com. Search The Sir Walter Jones Show on Facebook or follow on Twitter at Sir Walter's Music. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.
Right, Mr. Walters?